Squadcast. Breaking news.
You've got mail.
You've got
Okay, and welcome back. This is Restroom Reviews presents Go Set a Watchman, it's an official anti-cyberbully network podcast, and I'm your host, Danny Star Wars Betamax Ball, acclaimed speculative fiction author, Wikipedia historian, and professional restroom reviewer. I'm joined here today with my guest. And this is where you introduce yourself.
I'm Nathan, Sid Vicious Road Knight. I have never done a restroom review, but I'm certainly anti-cyberbullying.
I appreciate that, Nathan. Nathan, before we start, I have a brief statement to read.
Read away.
Oh, no, I'm going to read a brief statement, Nathan. Please.
That's cool.
What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, do you know I got it? All I'm asking is for a little respect when you get home. Hey, baby, when you get home, mister, I ain't gonna do you wrong while you're gone. I ain't gonna do you wrong because I don't wanna. All I'm asking is for a little respect when you come home. RESPECT. That spells respect, Nathan.
That's correct, I believe.
Yeah. Do you have anything you'd like to say in response to that?
You have my respect.
Okay. I feel like that's a good ground rule that we need to have on a podcast is mutual respect. We only give what we take, and we only take, Nathan, what we give. Nathan, how many birds?
100%.
How many birds can you name?
Oh gosh, like breeds? Probably quite a few.
Go.
Robins, sparrows, crows, ravens,
Okay.
parrots. There's different kinds of conures. Parrots and cockatiels and cockatoos.
Okay.
Geese and Canadian geese, which are sometimes called loons.
They're the ones that are on the Canadian money.
That's right. Well, that's why we call it the dollar coin, the loonie.
Right.
There's other waterfowl, grouse, ducks, swans. Swans are beautiful.
I think swans are just geese, actually.
Oh, well, that's my mistake, I guess. Then fancy geese?
You already said geese. In fact, technically, Nathan, and I didn't want to call you on the carpet on this, but you've actually said geese 3 times. You said geese, and then loon, and then swan. Those are just 3 types of geese, Nathan.
Okay, well, that's my egg on my face.
Yeah,
Probably goose egg.
that's probably true. You forgot. Have you extinguished? Have you reached the end of your list of birds?
Hummingbirds. I don't know if I mentioned chickens. Chickens are birds.
I don't think chickens are birds. I don't think
Oh.
technically.
Are they reptiles?
Well, they're related to dinosaurs, so yes.
Okay, reptiles. Cold-blooded
Yeah.
killers of the farmyard.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I guess that's probably all the birds I know. Pigeons. Pigeons as well.
Pigeons. That is true.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's a pretty comprehensive list of birds, and I thank you for that, Nathan.
Absolutely.
As for me, the main birds that I think of when I think of birds, I think of course, Big Bird.
True. I can't believe I forgot Big Bird.
Yeah, that was sort of a. I'm not going to dock you on points for that one, but it was a little bit of an oversight. I also think of I'm not sure what he is, but he's some sort of Mexican Big Bird that's on the Mexican Sesame Street.
Oh, the Alberto Grande.
Yeah, Pájaro Grande, the Mexican Big Bird.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot him too.
Yes.
I'm covered in egg.
Yes, there's quite a lot of egg in play. Now, Nathan, I have something else prepared here. As you know, sort of to segue into our next topic, I feel like I need to remind the listeners that this is an anti-cyberbully podcast. We stand against cyberbullies. We do not tolerate cyberbullies, and we would go to the ends of the earth, truly, to bring all cyberbullies to an end, even if that means a violent end. And that's what this podcast stands for, and that's what I stand for, and I'm sure that that's what you stand for as well, Nathan.
I'm actually sitting down, but generally I do stand for violence to end cyberbullying.
That's good. Have you ever, Nathan, been a victim of cyberbullying?
Almost all the time.
Do you have any examples that you can give? I'm trying to pad the time out here, Nathan, and you're not really working with me here.
A number of people have made fun of my hairstyle previously. Once I posted my picture online and someone said that I looked like Theon Greyjoy. They changed it from Greyjoy to make fun of me for being gay.
Are you...
Sorry.
Are you... I don't actually know who that is.
It's a Game of Thrones character. It's I guess not really important.
Is this a television program or?
Yeah, it's a pretty popular TV show right now.
Okay.
Currently airing its final season.
Interesting. Well, I along with the entire Anti-Cyberbully Network listeners would like to, first of all, thank you for your bravery in being willing to come forward with this story. And you are suffice it to say that our prayers and thoughts are with you, Nathan.
I appreciate that. I really, really do.
Now, there's a word from our sponsors here that I'd like to read. Today's podcast is brought to you by Gecko 9mm Luger 115 jacketed hollow points. This is the ammunition which is your go-to ammunition. It is the hollow point bullet is the perfect choice when you require absolute accuracy. A hollow point shifts the center of gravity towards the base of the bullet, which gives these bullets an astonishing edge in accuracy, a virtue on which shooters have relied for many years. Nathan, what ammunition do you use when combating cyberbullies?
I generally use none. I shoot a bow and arrow sometimes. I'm a bit of an old school. Here in Canada, it's a little more difficult to get your hands on weaponry.
What do you shoot with your bow and arrow? Do you shoot targets? Do you shoot living creatures?
Try and shoot the children that run across my lawn when they're finished school. I haven't gotten any of them yet, but here's hoping.
Well, perhaps. Now, I don't know if Gecko ammunition manufacturers an arrow point, but if they did, perhaps we can see if our sponsors can give you the hookup, as they say, on perhaps some hollow point arrow bullets that you can use while target practicing the children in your lawn, Nathan.
That would be fantastic.
Yes.
I certainly wouldn't turn down free arrow bullets.
Well, I will definitely have a word with these sponsors. Nathan, I have here. Are you familiar with Nancy?
Pelosi? The comic. The comic.
The comic, yes, Nancy
Yeah.
the comic. Oh, but I
Yes,
speak
I am.
twice. Nancy Pelosi is quite the comic, if you ask me, with her harebrained ideas.
Oh, agreed completely.
Yeah, but yes, I am speaking about Nancy the comic. I had here a Nancy comic. I would like to read you.
Great.
This comic originally appeared on August 5th, 1950. In the first panel, we have Nancy and her friend Sluggo. Are you familiar with Sluggo?
Yeah, he's lit.
Okay, Sluggo, yes. Sluggo and Nancy, they're standing outside of a window, and they appear to be surprised by the sounds they hear coming from inside the window. And a word bubble emerges from the window. It says, "Come on, Pete. I want my slice before the gang gets here." Continues in the second panel. "Yeah, things are getting pretty hot, Mike." In the third panel, they say, "That's right. I guess we better blow." And in this third panel, Nancy and Sluggo, they appear quite surprised by the words hearing, and Sluggo proffers this interpretation. He says, "There must be a couple gangsters in there." That seems like a correct summation. Would you agree, Nathan?
Absolutely, based on what they were saying, I would
Yes.
say that it was probably gangsters outside.
That's right. Well, much to their surprise and to yours, Nathan, in the fourth panel, the artist reveals what's going on inside of the house, and it's actually two men, and there's a sign that reads, "Happy Birthday, Pete," and he's blowing out the candles on a cake.
Oh, what a case of mistaken identity.
Yes, it's a real twist, surprise ending.
Honestly, it could have been M. Night Shyamalan who wrote that.
It could have been. I really feel like the artist Ernie Bushmiller was ahead of his time. Now, Nathan, down here on this website, this is on GoComics.com, and they're not a sponsor, but I hope that they will be in the future. Now, you can add comments underneath this comic strip that originally appeared on 1950. And recently we had someone add a comment. Now, this is a comment by Atomic Dog. This is Atomic Dog chiming in. And he says, "Hey, he just wants a, quote, piece of the action," end quote.
I assume he means a piece of the cake, I guess.
I believe, yes, he's making a pun regarding the piece of the cake and a piece of the action, which is a common thing that people say. Hey, I want a piece of the action.
Yeah, I've definitely heard gangster types say things like that.
Yes, yes. Now, Nathan, do you feel like there are any similarities between gangsters, organized crime, and cyber, the current plague of cyberbullying that our country is under, or our two countries? I know that you are a Canadian man, as it were.
I do see similarities. I think that because of how many people cyberbully me, I feel like they are almost a gang.
Yes.
And I honestly think that me and others are often stalked
Yes.
by these gangs of cyberbullying.
Yes.
You can call it gang stalking. I'm not sure.
I've
If anyone's
heard
ever
that
coined
term, and I
phrase.
instantly agree with it.
Yeah. So I think that there's definitely a connection. Also, people have driven by and tried to shoot at my house, which is something I've heard gangsters also do pretty regularly.
Yes. Now, is this a common occurrence? Where in Canada exactly are you located? Are you in the place with the forests? Are you in the sort of the
No,
town?
not many forests. I'm in Ontario, so we have some forests, but I
Yes.
wouldn't say as many as Vancouver,
Yes.
perhaps. But a good number of forests.
Yes. Do you eat maple syrup, Nathan?
Oh, definitely, yeah, on everything.
Good. Have you ever visited the United States, Nathan?
I've been to Niagara across the border very briefly when I was in Niagara on our side. Other than that, no.
Now, when you say our side, of course, I need to remind the listeners. When he says our side, he's referring to Canada.
That's right. Yes, our side in this case, when I speak, would be Canada.
Okay.
Your side is America.
Correct.
Not that I would like to either of us.
Yes, I appreciate that. Did you? Now, I was recently in Niagara Falls. I'd never actually been to our sister country of Canada, and I went there earlier last year with my wife, whom I'm married to. And
congratulations!
Good, thank you. And we traveled to Niagara Falls, and in my opinion, it was very nice.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's a very tourist city. It's very
Yes.
Most of Canada is not much like that.
Okay.
We're pretty boring for the most part everywhere else, but with all of the tourist traps and the big waterfall is a big one.
Yeah. Well, I can see, as I was standing there, I said to myself, I feel like this is a pretty popular location.
Yeah, definitely. I think it probably has one of the highest turnover rates. Well, I think that's not really right, but the most people visiting it out of anywhere in Ontario, probably.
Did you walk across I don't remember what the name of the bridge is. I think it's called the Sunshine Bridge.
Yeah, it's the Sunshine Bridge or the Rainbow Bridge. I can't remember. I actually was in a vehicle, so I didn't walk across, but we drove across a bridge into the States.
Interesting.
And then we pretty much just turned around. I didn't really get a chance to visit anything.
Nice. So I'm assuming you did not have a chance to review any restrooms while there.
Unfortunately not. Now, I could give a brief review for the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum's restroom.
I would appreciate that.
Very clean. They had both paper towels and hand dryers, which I thought was lovely. Some people prefer the air dry, some people prefer the pat dry.
Mm-hmm.
And soap dispensers were full. I have no complaints whatsoever, to be honest.
Good. I'm more of a patter myself, Nathan.
Yeah, that's me as well. I unless it's a Dyson Airblade, I'd much prefer the paper towels.
Yes. I feel that there's just more texture involved, and I feel it's more of an authentic experience.
Definitely, and you get to try whatever paper towel they happen to have. There's different brands, different colors.
Yes.
You know, often got the brown, but sometimes it's got the white, sometimes smooth, sometimes rough.
Yes. Well, it sounds like you there in Canada are blessed with a true cornucopia of paper towel options.
Absolutely. That's how I would describe it as well.
Yes. Well, once again, this has been a production. This is an official Restroom Reviews production, and it is a presentation of the Anti-Cyberbully Network. And you've been listening to Go Set a Watchman, a Restroom Reviews production, and we will be trademarking that name. And I would like to once again thank my guest and colleague and life partner, Nathan, for joining me today. And we look forward.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I'm shocked, and I'm quite happy to hear that we're life partners.
Yes.
I might cry.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. It's not something I take lightly, and it's a relation that I have with everyone who I podcast with, which currently includes you, and hopefully many more.
Agreed. I hope so as well. I've never been polyamorous, but this sounds very exciting to me.
Have you read the book A Moon is a Harsh Mistress by Robert Heinlein?
I haven't. The only Heinlein I've read is Strangers in a Strange Land.
Interesting. What did you think of that?
Oh, fantastic. One of my favorite novels.
I liked
I have
it
a
as
copy
well.
of it on my bookshelf. I don't own too much other than a bunch of Stephen King books, but I still have a copy of that as well. So.
Now, when you say you don't own much except Stephen King books, do you own, I'm assuming that you own clothes, shoes?
I meant, yes, that was strictly books. I do have a few clothes. I have some shirts and pants.
Okay.
And I have dishes.
I would assume with your familiarity with birds that we talked about earlier in the podcast, I assume that you were so familiar with birds, and that's why you need all of the Stephen King books to function as cage liners.
That's right. There's a lot of pages in them, and
yes.
They last quite a while
That's
as cage
good.
liners for
That's
the bird.
good. I'm glad to hear that. But in all sincerity, Stephen King is a. Do you find him to be a good writer?
I enjoy his writing. Yeah, I find him to be less purple than a lot of horror authors. So I've tried to read some Dean Koontz because he was compared, and he just describes flower fields for 15 pages. And I'm like, there's flowers. I get it.
Yes. Now I've been trying to read the Dark Tower novels for the past 5 years, and I got to the one where there's it's something about wolves.
Wolves of the Kala. Yeah, I think that's the time travel one. Is it not? Or is that the one before that?
I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of time traveling going on, but the one with the wolves I haven't yet made it through. Maybe with if this podcast is a success, that will finally give me the encouragement I need to really knuckle down and muscle through those books.
Yeah, you can actually probably stop on that one. Most people who enjoyed them didn't enjoy the last three, but I did, because I am basically a battered spouse with regards to Stephen King's writing.
Yes. Well, on that note of spousal abuse, I think that we will have to end today's podcast, and I will say adieu, as you say in Canada. Adieu.
Yeah.
Yes.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Au revoir, mon ami. Comment je le sirop m'appelle? And I don't know. I appreciate you. And I wish you and your family the best. And I hope that in the future with your... I wish you success in your battle, our eternal battle against cyberbullies of all stripes.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate the support from the Anti-Cyberbullying League.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You have a wonderful night.
You feel free to thank me. You can usually what people say at the end is they thank me for my service. So you can go ahead and say that.
Oh, thank you for your service.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I don't know how to hang up.
Oh, I can hang up.
Okay, hang up.